Tucked away in the heart of Central Asia lies a rather small yet incredibly beautiful country, Kyrgyzstan, a land of majestic mountains, calm blue lakes, and a timeless nomadic culture. Around 7 million people live here, spread across cities, villages, and valleys. But before heading out into the wild, almost every journey begins here in the capital city, Bishkek. A city of about 1 million people and with a fascinating blend of Asian and Soviet culture. And this is where our journey begins.
The walking guy has a little animation, isn't that cool? Ah, now he's disappearing. Anyway, now our walking guy has this animation. Haven't seen that before. It looks a bit weird, but you know, you get what it means. Now, before we actually get to the other things that I wanted to show you, it is time for two other things that we gotta do before that. We gotta get some groceries, you know? Like without water and without sunscreen, simply not gonna survive out here. Got two waters right here and a little bit of sunscreen. The water was maybe 43 some, like one bottle. The sunscreen, you know, actually yanks the price up quite much. But that was to be expected. Following my natural European instinct to walk everywhere, I walked. And I'm glad that I did, because otherwise I would have missed out on this mosaic right here. Probably also still from Soviet times. Right now we're basically on the way to the central train station, because the other thing that would be quite interesting to know is where those spots are where we can go from here to like any other spot in the country, you know? We're trying to travel the local way, so that's why I initially thought to go there. There you go. Bishkek 2 Vaksali. Huh. Let's take a look at this massive building. Maybe not. As you can see, you have a metal detector and like a baggage check right here. Actually, it is too bad that we can't really go onto this platform right here, on this train platform, because you can't really see it, but over there's a statue of Lenin, actually. Doesn't really give you that much of a better view, but here he is, just watching all of the train passengers come in here. It's also a lovely park all around here. Lots of roses, and this good weather, it's really, really enjoyable. Temperatures are still crazy, and I feel like my 2 bottles of water that I got will not be enough to sustain myself for whatever I'm gonna do today. So actually there are some mostly old ladies sitting in the streets and selling some nice drinks. They have a Kvas. Maybe we should go for a Kvas. Спасибо. Very much needed, honestly. We got some people doing TikToks over here, so life is not that much different around here, except it is not really a country where you will be able to really speak English. Now, people speak their own language, the Kyrgyz language, but thanks to the time in the Soviet Union, basically everybody also speaks Russian around here. So if you know a few words in Russian, you will definitely get by. And if not, and also for like any situation where things become a little bit more complex, make sure, like I'm not really a fan of Google Translator, honestly, but they have the amazing ability to download their languages for translation offline, so you can use it anytime, no matter if you have a SIM card or whatever. I feel like with that, you will definitely get through here. Well, how do I know Russian? Here's 3 hard truths about it. First one is I don't, okay? I simply don't. I mostly just pretend to. Second one is that my wife, of course, speaks Russian, like natively. But I also didn't really learn it from there. I actually just have a very, very long Duolingo streak. It teaches you a lot of weird sentences, so you do get some vocabulary, yes, but it honestly doesn't really teach you anything useful. So in order to really make it through here, you just gotta really think of all of those sentences and stuff yourself. So I wouldn't really recommend learning things with Duolingo. It really doesn't teach you anything. Right now we have a breeze of wind and there's a lot of acorns falling down. So this is really becoming a battlefield here. Let's rather cross and get out of the danger zone. Look at that. We just exited this park and we're already very, very much rewarded. I'm really looking forward to take a look at that. Historical significant city forming facility. Scan the QR code to get information about the facility. There you go. That's basically what we could have done all the time. That's what you can do when you watch this video, actually. You know, for my part right here, I'm just gonna keep it at the basics. And yes, of course, this guy is important because his name is literally Bishkek Batyr. This guy right here, a commander of the Kyrgyz army, sometime in the, I think, 18th century, not entirely sure, something like that. But yeah, you had the QR code, so if you want to learn more, you can just do that, you know. Then we continue on to this main square thing. So just to give you an idea, like this writing right here, if I stand directly in front of it, like it's almost my height, you know, a little bit lower. So this is only like this socket this entire thing is standing on, and then this is crazy, let me tell you. This is crazy high, and the flag is even higher than that. It's right here next to it. There it is. The dimensions of all of those things, you know. On the other side, we also have some fountains and some other building with some golden dome on top. Well, the golden dome is actually also here, a tiny one, and here. So I guess it all kind of belongs together. But first, let's take a look at this flag thing. As you can see, this flag is just as important as the Milda monument would be to Latvia. So we have guards right here guarding this extremely huge flag right here. Also, if you're here on time, you can witness the exchange of the guards when there's like a new shift and new guards are coming there. I actually don't know when that time is. Oh well, now at least you got the information. We now made it across the street to the other side, and they have some music right here coming from the speakers. I first thought it's some kind of live band because it's, you know, the sound made it seem like that, but still, you know, gives this whole thing a little bit more atmosphere. So yeah, we have a few fountains around. We have people playing with the fountains, with the water. The streets right here just seem busy at any time of the day. Luckily, in order to cross this street, you can just go down here and can get up again on the other side. Also a lot of different little booths down here. Very much like I'm used to it in Minsk. All the heat from outside seems to be here, underground. Anyway, we almost made it out. We actually ended up in front of the Bishkek City Hall, right here. Of course, also once again with a fountain in front. Another massive, little bit Soviet looking building. And with a little bit, I mean a lot. I mean, you even had the hammer and sickle right there. You know, some of those countries, they try to finish with their Soviet past. Here they literally don't care. I don't know if they do, but at least we still have hammer and sickle on top of every single column right here. The buildings around us are getting taller, some more high buildings in the background, and we even have a business center here. Actually, it is a mall. There you go. doing our favorite part that we always do, go into random malls. So of course we got a lot of clothes and accessories, and made in Germany as well. And now we have one huge mall here, then the one that we've just been to, and on the other side of the street there is another one. Did anybody say malls? And they're building even more here. I don't know what it is. Probably some roads and things. Let's take a look over that wall. Maybe we'll see something. Ah! I'm almost too short for that. Outside it's starting to rain a little bit, so I fled into the Bishkek Park mall right here and ended up in a place that is called Navat. It seems like it's the, you know, the Kyrgyz version of Vasilki in Belarus, but we'll see. At least the menus also look kind of same, but we'll find out. As you can see, they also have pictures for every single meal that they offer for the stupid tourists, you know, the ones that cannot speak Russian or doesn't want to fumble around with translator apps all the time. So you'll definitely find something here. My food is here, so now it is time to feast. So this is pretty much what you can expect of the Kyrgyz local cuisine. It's lots of meat and lots of, you know, like dough things, like noodles and stuff. And the thing that we have here is called a beshbarmak. Never ate that before, and so we're gonna try this now. And it has one thing that may seem a little bit odd if you're not used to it. I'm also not used to it, so it is a little bit odd for me as well. But yeah, this is horse meat. We have an horse meat right here. It's a local tradition, and they wouldn't do it if it wasn't good. It's very soft. Didn't necessarily expect that, but very good. It's a, you know, seemingly simple dish, but it's to the point and very nice if you like meat. In general, if you're a vegetarian, you're gonna have a hard time in this country actually, because yeah, as I said, many things here are very much meat-based and those dough things. So yes, meat it is. Let's go, let's do this. We now have some dessert right here that is a little bit more than I expected it to be. But this stuff right here, it is called a chak chak. Yeah, it's basically something made out of wheat and out of eggs. And yeah, like with condensed milk and like walnuts and stuff. That's really a lot. I thought, you know, it's just gonna be a regular sized portion. I don't know if you eat it with hands like that. I'm just gonna, looks like some nacho, huh? It's not too sweet. So this dough itself is not really sweet. It's more like the condensed milk that makes it sweet. Didn't expect that because, you know, usually they just put a whole lot of sugar in that stuff. But that's actually different. We're out of the mall and wow, it really cooled down a lot, this rain in between. Gonna take a while until I burn those calories from the chak chak again. Not entirely sure yet if I should have done the whole thing or if I don't know, should have maybe told them to like pack the rest or something. Like I had a liter of lemonade, right? Then I had my food and I had a dessert, and in total I paid like under 1,500 som. Try to do that literally anywhere in Europe and you will fail miserably. Anyway, if you want to see even more of the things that are happening here and maybe a little bit more of the personal side or behind the scenes stuff, you can always join my Telegram group. I made a community like, I don't know, 1, 2, 3 months ago, something like that, I really don't remember. So if you're interested in that, go join the community. It's completely free, not selling you any weird stuff. You're getting a whole lot of new stuff for completely free. Look at that. As soon as the sun is gone, all of the lights are slowly switched on, and this place becomes entirely different. As you can maybe see, it is already quite dark. Let's see that we had home instead. Well, temporary home for one more night. Let's go. Well, here we got a 24/7 pediatrician next to a pharmacy, and now we're just going to disappear in this little side alley right here. Just gotta follow along this road a little bit, or this side street here, and then we're already there. That was unexpected. Then we're already there. And here it is. My little room, my little place to stay for 20 bucks a night. A bed, I have a little table, a little bathroom right here with a shower. 20 euros a night. If you stay in the city center, you're gonna have hotels and things, and they will be, you know, standard European prices. So if you don't mind it being in a little bit of a further away area, honestly, this is the best choice. The one thing that makes this the best choice is my view from the window. You gotta see this, because this right here is the view. And we have this beautiful concrete wall and all of this stuff. That's another room right there, actually. Random. Yeah, anyway, so obviously for today that's it. And like the remaining things that are still to see here in Bishkek, we're gonna do on some other day. See you then. You really never know what you're gonna get weather-wise right here in Bishkek. But it would be a shame to, you know, not go to the central mosque around here, which is gonna be right to the left of us. So yeah, I was just checking on my map, and there's like this one where we are right now, which like in German says Central Mosque, but there's also this one up here, which actually says Central Mosque in English. You know, if we needed like a hard lesson on why you shouldn't use Google Maps here and rather go with their own thing that they have, this 2GIS thing, then it's this right here. Because yes, they do have a mosque right here, which is also called in Google Maps the Central Mosque, but that is not the Central Mosque. It's somehow somewhere further down the street, and then we should see the actual central one. Wow, okay. Yeah, that one's a little bit bigger than the other one that we saw that was marked as the Central Mosque on the map. So this right here is worthy to be called the Central Mosque. Look at that. This place is massive, really. I mean, I would have to go a little bit further there to get all of that in one frame. That's how huge that thing is. There you go. Most important for women, of course, are the headscarves. And here, when it comes to men, you're even allowed to look like this guy. Okay, and apparently we're not allowed to wear any satanistic kind of things. I think I'll be good. I have like a stork here. I don't know if you can already call it interior. It's basically still outside. Right here. And then the prayer room is right there. And everywhere you see those things, and those are to put your shoes when you want to go inside. And as you can see, they have some more here, and it stretches all the way along this wall. People still put it on the ground. Wow, it's open. Wow, okay. I'm gonna switch my camera sound off, and I'm also gonna, you know, stop talking and things. And then we see a mosque. First time I've ever been there. We're leaving the mosque behind now, and we're now heading into this direction, back into the direction of the Victory Park. So the park is right here with this arches and things, and we're going one street further in this direction because we're going to take a look at the Opera and Ballet Theater. So let's just go follow that direction and then we'll see. Oh, we're already passing some UFO kind of structure here. That seems to be like the national circus. Let's take a quick look, shall we? Okay, there you go. This right here is a clown, and it perfectly represents me thinking that we would see more when we go up here. But of course, you know, the place where the action is just somewhere there in the middle, and of course you can't really see it from the outside. Because otherwise, you know, people wouldn't pay entrance and they would just stand outside. So it does make kind of sense. Wonder what that is. I don't think it's the opera, but there's another very interesting looking marble building. So, you know, whatever this says, I don't know. But this one, right there, this sign is quite obvious. We found another very different looking national library, this time here in Kyrgyzstan. I don't know what it is with library buildings, but they always just seem very, let's say, unique, you know? You may remember Latvia or Belarus. They also had very distinguishable library buildings. And this one is no difference to that. So we just got to cross that street, then get back on that one. And down the street here, we're already gonna have the opera building. Now, doesn't that look exactly like you would imagine one of those theaters? The textbook definition of a ballet and opera hall. Oh, by the way, look at that detail there. So it becomes very obvious from which kind of time that is, as you still have the hammer and the sickle here. And just like that, we're back at our Victory Square. I do feel a little bit afraid of saying that we now basically saw everything that you can see around here in Bishkek, because as you may have noticed, I was on the way to the opera and then just found two more interesting buildings and things. So I don't know if you can ever say that there's nothing more interesting to show. The only thing that I know is that it would be a little bit too much for this video otherwise if we just continue it on going. So yeah, I would say we end this video with a victory right here. I do hope that for the next stuff that we're gonna do, the weather is gonna be a little bit better again, because right now it is really horrible. Nevertheless, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you enjoyed whatever you saw here today. If you did, you know, you can do all of the classic YouTube stuff, and that leaves me with nothing else to say except thank you so much for watching, and let's get out of here.